One of the other giant things that you did, I think, right at the start was Sonisphere.
Yep, we did.
That was a pretty substantial festival, and I think you launched with quite a lot of them. At one point, you had 8.
Yeah, we played, I can't remember how many we did in total, but we did everywhere from Istanbul to Pori in the very north of Finland and everything in between. And one of the, you asked earlier on why I left Livenation, one of the frustrations I had at Livenation is having started Download, I felt that we could take Download out and make it an international touring festival. And I think Livenation over the years have tried a couple of territories that have sort of come and gone. But with Sonisphere, I was effectively able to do what I couldn't do when I was at Livenation. And so we did a deal with Metallica, and we did a deal with Iron Maiden where they were effectively founding partners on the show. And we played multiple European territories with it.
And did you have to set up partnerships in each territory? Or
Yes,
did you just do
yes.
it?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the whole concept of it, which was to take the touring entity and promote it with the best rock promoter in each territory.
And that must have cost a fortune to set up.
Cost a fortune to set up, but equally it sold a huge number of tickets, sold hundreds and hundreds of thousands.
How do you cash flow something like that before the ticket money comes in?
With deep pockets.
So is that backers supporting it, or is that the company being successful enough to do it?
It was on a territory by territory basis, and it was a combined effort between ourselves and the local partners.
If someone wanted to do that now, how much money would they need to raise to launch something like that?
A festival of that nature now, you're probably 12 to 15 million pound.
Was it supposed to be in direct competition with Download?
Yes, it was. We felt that we could run at Nebworth on a different basis. We deliberately set it up so that we had 2 main stages that were similar sizes and flip-flopped, so that you had the ability to see the entirety of the bill. There were never clashes. You didn't have to make a decision on which favorite band you wanted to go and see. And for the period of time we ran at Nebworth, that format worked really well, and it was really pleasing to see sort of the audience move from one stage to another, and be able to see the entire bill.
Was there a big fight with Download to get the bands to do that?
Yes, there was, and there certainly became a bidding war, and that's primarily the reason why we stopped running Sonisphere, because the cost of running the festival had literally trebled, almost quadrupled in the period of time that we ran it. And Livenation was so desperate to ensure that Sonisphere didn't take place that in the end we agreed with them. So.
Is that always going to be a problem for all festivals, that if they're competing, there's going to be a bidding war?
I think that it is, and I think the current issue certainly in the UK marketplace and perhaps in many European markets is I don't think that competition is fair, in so much that Livenation, if you take as a UK example, in the last 15 years have lost £153 million in the UK, and so they're able to offer on a basis that nobody else can.
What's the most stressful day you've had across your career?
The most stressful day I've ever had across my career. Live 8 at Hyde Park was a long day. I think we were 2 hours over curfew by the time we finished, and I'd been served legal notices for prosecution because we were running so late. Certainly a bad, stressful day was 1988 Monsters of Rock, where we had a tragic accident at Donington and 2 audience members died. That was a very stressful day.
I can imagine. What was your role at Monsters of Rock? Were you the site manager as well?
Yeah, I was the festival director.
And what about Live 8?
Live 8, I was the licensee and the event director for Hyde Park, yeah.
Right, so those prosecution things were quite serious.
Yeah, they all disappeared. It was handed to me and I passed it to our lawyer and said, I think you're going to need to deal with this.
Yeah, fair enough. What then, by contrast, was the biggest risk you've taken that's really paid off?
I don't know. I mean, starting Sonisphere was adventurous, to say the least, particularly the year where we ended up putting I think it was Queen, Faith No More, and Kiss on sale at Nebworth, and realizing, having just taken the company private, that we'd made a monumental mistake, and that we were too soon into the Queen market. The audience had not accepted Adam Lambert as a replacement for Freddie at that point in time. As it is, they've gone on and played to more tickets than even the point where Freddie was the lead singer. But so waking up one morning and just going, I don't have 5 million quid, which is what this show's about to lose. So we had to cancel it. So
How big a decision is that? Like, how do you come to that decision?
it was pure and simple. It was going to cost us less to cancel it than it was to run it. But we also had, I think that year we had 13 or 14 other Sonispheres through Europe, all of which were doing well. So we rode the summer out.
So that probably didn't feel as big a deal as it probably looked in the UK.
It was a big deal.
It felt like
Trust
a big
me,
deal.
It was a big deal.
Did the Monsters of Rock then, not Monsters of Rock, Sonisphere, make money overall?
Yes, it did.
So it was still a good thing, even though it came to an end that the company put it on. Why do promoters love festivals so much if there is so much risk?
I'm not sure that promoters love festivals now as much as they have in the past. I think there are. I think the market is saturated. I think there are also many outdoor shows at mid 5,000, 20,000 capacity every summer. There's lots of choice for customers, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But I think the risk versus return ratio for a festival now is much worse than it has been in previous decades.